was telling one of my friends, this lady, that, you know, as a foreigner, I don't have work I'm doing except the little ones I'm doing. She will go collect salary of 50K and send to my phone and tell me that that you are the husband of the house. This is the money I've made. I've given you as the head of the house. Can you tell us what we should do about it? And I'm like, what? Do women like this still exist? So one thing I tell men is this. There's always, you see, a prayer of a woman answers more than a man. So there's always a consequence you cheating a woman. There's always a big consequence. They always think there's nothing, but there's always a big consequence you cheating a woman. When she was trying to save my number, and funny enough, she was saving my number as Launch Nigeria. Is a Kenyan. He conned me big time. Because I remember those days I spent equivalent to 273,000 Kenyan shillings. And tell us to come to Kenya. That when we come to Kenya, we're placed in Donholm. Maybe those who know my story, who's watching this program, can see that, oh, there's a time back, so some years back, we were placed in Donholm, and the man collects money from us and put us in a room in Donholm. And he just told us, I'm coming, watch Nifika town. So he translated later on, but later on, as I advance in Kenya, I know the meaning of what he was saying. Watch Nifika town, it's a Rudy.
Hello and good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. Karibuni sana to yet another episode here on the Orion Production. It's a very beautiful Monday, cloudy, a bit chilly, but tunaendelea tu vizuri. I hope nyinyi pia hapo nyumbani mnaendelea vizuri, or wherever you're watching us from, whether you're at your workplace, kama uko umetembea ama uko tu shughuli. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since we were last together, and I'm back again with an amazing story from an amazing guest, and it's an interesting story because we've not had a foreigner guest in a while, but today we are going to have one, and he's going to tell us his story in a foreign country. He's a young man from Nigeria, and he came here to Kenya, and he's going to tell us his story from how he came from Nigeria to then here in Kenya without knowing anyone. He did not have a relative here. He just came, him alone, and how he survived in this foreign country up until now, when he has a very beautiful family and he's faring on well and a proud Kenyan citizen. My name is Nyambura Mbogwa. Karibuni sana. So Michael, karibu sana.
Sana.
Unasikia mgeni wetu anajua Kiswahili na ametoka Nigeria. So Michael, karibu sana hapa Orion Production. We are very privileged to have you. And here we tell stories of inspiration. Yes, you're very much welcome to tell us journey yako from vile ulitoka Nigeria to here Kenya. So first of all, introduce yourself to our guests. Tell us your names. Yes, and then tuendele.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity given to me to be on this TV program today. It's always a privilege to tell people about my story and how it started from and the journey. My name is Adetunji Oluwagbemiga Michael. I know that name is like a sentence, but the Oluwagbemiga means the Lord has lifted me up. So that's the meaning of the name. And I can proudly say that I'm married to a wonderful Kenyan woman from the land of, is it Luoland? Yeah, Luoland. And I'm proud to be a father of 4, 3 girls and a boy.
Wonderful. So now, Michael, tell us a bit about your background, where you were born, where you went to school, your primary and your high school levels.
Yes, she called me a young man, and I'm proud to say I'm a young man. It's always beautiful to look young, because when you're from Nigeria, your old age starts at the age of 60 years and above. I was born and brought up in Lagos State, Nigeria, though my parents are from Ado-Ekiti State, in the western part of Nigeria. But I was brought up in Lagos State. I went to school in Lagos State. I finished my secondary school in Lagos State. I went to university in Lagos State. I finished my secondary school those days. That's why when you say young man, I laugh. I finished my secondary school 98, 99. those days back then. That's when I finished my secondary school. Then I went into football before I went back to university, then finished university, then go back to football. So when she's asking the story of my life, what happened was that they said, when I was praying, I told God that same year that, Lord, please, I just want to move out of Nigeria to go to a greener pasture, because Nigeria, there's this mentality in Nigeria. That's why you see most Nigerians travel. Nigeria, when you travel outside the country and you are blessed by the grace of the Lord and you go back home, even if the person you left at home has like, I'm just illustration, has like 10 million, excuse me, and you have like 6 million. People tend to respect you more than him because they always believe that you are a strong man. You went outside to a strange land and you make wealth and come back home, and that this man that is at home just only take advantage of being at home advantage. So when you speak, they tend to listen to you more because they believe you have exposure. So that's why you see Nigerians, they like traveling, because when you come back, they give you chieftaincy and say, oh, you know, those kind of praise. So you like it when you go and come back, and in your family, you are well respected compared to those who are at home. So that's why you see Nigerians travel. So as I was saying, so I prayed, Lord, let me just move out of it. Then an offer came. I don't want to mention someone's name on the TV station. Is a Kenyan. He conned me big time, because I remember those days I spent equivalent to 273,000 Kenyan shillings, and tell us to come to Kenya. That when we come to Kenya, we're placed in Donholm. Maybe those who know my story, who's watching this program, can see that, oh, there's a time back, so some years back, we were placed in Donholm, and the man collects money from us and put us in a room in Donholm. And the man, and he just told us, I'm coming, watch and Ifika town. So he translated later on, but later on, as I advanced in Kenya, I know the meaning of what he was saying. Watch and Ifika town, Itarudi. And that is how he left. And that's how we started our journey in Kenya here.
Before we come to now, here, Kenya, could you paint for us a picture of Lagos? Because we see it in the Niger movies, which, you know, we Kenyans are a very big fan of, especially the ladies. We see Lagos as a very fancy, if I may say, fancy state, because of your residential houses. They are like, hey, zinakwanga dream homes zetu, whereas hapo Lagos inakanga nikatu, it's just the usual thing. From a homestead here to the other here, inakanga maisha huko iko sawa kabisa. Hebu tupaintie kukoaje huko, real life ya huko Lagos.
Lagos is a crazy place. Lagos is a crazy place to be. When you're looking for drama, come to Lagos State. There's always drama, left, right, center, every blessed day. You can stay at the stage in Lagos State and you laugh all through before the day finish, because it's just full of crazy things. And the way you see those apartments, that's how we build in Nigeria. The apartments are always bigger. And if I want to compare houses in Kenya and Nigeria, Nigeria is cheaper to live.
Really?
Compared to Kenya. Houses are expensive in Kenya. You know, okay, let me just use, that's part of my story. When I was here, you know, I couldn't access my bank then when I was here. So I was telling my parents, I want to pay 10,000 shillings for one bedroom. My parents are like, what? Why are you staying in a West, you know, I was just in illustration. Why are you staying in a place like Westlands? That's what she was saying. My parents were saying that, why do you go and rent houses in Westlands? I said, no, it's not Westlands, it's Eastlands. So I'm referring to them in Nigeria. It's just Agege, not Victoria Island. Yeah. So they're like, how come is it that expensive? One bedroom? I said, yes, one bedroom. Do you know that money that you are collecting can pay 6 months rent in Nigeria? The same house, the same thing, but bigger. So in Lagos, Nigeria, the houses are bigger because that's the way they construct it. Because 90% of the people build houses for themselves. So when you build it like a place you want to stay, then you can rent it out to people, because people like a place that have space. So that is why the houses in Nigeria are constructed that way. And also, if I could say why Kenyans construct their house in this way is because of your weather. Because I get to started calculating that if you make those houses big like that, I think someone might die of cold. So when you see Kenyans constructing houses those way, it's not as if they cannot construct the way Nigerians are constructing. But when you think about the 90% of your weather is always chilly, so when you construct the house small like that, it protects you from a little bit cold, and which is better. So but Nigerian is hotter. Nigeria is more or less like a Mombasa. So it's hotter, so you need to make your space bigger. So it seems that's one of the reasons why those houses are constructed that way. If you can see now, it seems I started talking like half Nigerian, half Kenyan, because I'm also playing very careful, because now my life is in Kenya and I'm proud to be in Kenya. It's a blessed place.
So how many siblings are you at your home?
We are 8 in number. My brother is in UK, and me, I'm in Kenya. The rest are in Nigeria. We have 6 boys and 2 girls.
Okay, wonderful. So now we are crossing over to now how you came about to and deciding that you're now going to leave your country, Nigeria, to come here to Kenya. Tell us whether you had made a permanent decision to moving from Nigeria, coming to Kenya, and what is that specific thing that ilikufanya utoke huko ukuje huku, ama utake kutoka huko ukuje huku?
All right. I never in my wildest dream plan I'm coming to Kenya. I will be sincere. It's the last place I ever dreamed, because when they were painting Kenya in Nigeria, I believe that when you get to Kenya and you're walking on the road, you just see lion, I'm a tiger. You see you see this kind of way we see them, like the way they show us in documentary. Like when you get to Kenya, you just see baboon jumping up and down, tiger running, I'm a lion moving. That you cannot. Okay, if you want to move from one place to another place, you need to enter. You need to be in a bus to be safe. That's the way I see it. So in my wildest dream, I never planned to come to Kenya. When the agent was telling us, because we are footballers, when the agent was telling us to come to Kenya, it was like Kenya is a transit to the Europe we are going to. That, you know, Kenyan passport, in Kenya, you are able to get visa. You know, it's still part of exposure. So I'm here to tell people, you don't just travel anyhow. You just don't travel anyhow because you want to travel for travel's sake. Many people will lose their life because among those we come, I know some that have put their hands in wrong things and they find themselves in the prison. But by the grace of the Lord, we stay on the right path. We stay on the right track, saying that if the Lord do not blesses us, though as I was saying from the beginning, that when I landed in Kenya and this man, I used the statement he used for it, he said, "Wacha nifika town, narudi." And that was the end. And we never see him again. And 270,000 Kenya shillings, ilienda evil. So we started wondering, what are we going to do? But I cried and tell her, God, I didn't ever plan to come to this country. Every night I will cry, I'll look into heaven, I'll be screaming. He only paid for 3 months rent. And after 3 months, landlord is coming to ask you, what are people doing here? You only pay for 3 months. I said 3 months, but he told us he paid for 1 year. That we just trained for 1 year, we trained for 6 months. Then after 6 months, we are fitted because the weather of Nigeria and Kenya, there's a little bit cold here. We came in during cold season. So you train those period of 3 months and 3 months for the other time, then you move. Then it disappears. So the landlord is coming to ask us for rent. And I'm wondering, Jesus, how will I survive here? So I started crying. I weep and tell God, this is not what I planned to be. This is not the nation I ever dreamt to come in. Though I prayed that I want to leave the country. So the Lord came to me and told me, but you told me you want to leave the country. And I make you leave the country. But, you know, God knows all things. That's one thing I want to tell my brothers. Just trust in the Lord. God knows all things. In God, there's no mistake. In God, there's always perfect movement. So that's how I find myself landed in Kenya.
Okay. And tell us how your first 3 months in Kenya, how they were. How your experience, mlikuwa mnatoa food wapi, because you're now new here. The agent brought you, akawambia, for the first 6 months, I'll cater for everything, your accommodation, your food. Of course, he was telling you all the sweet nothings that you wanted to hear. So how did you survive and with the rest of your friends?
It was crazy. You make me remember those days. It was crazy. You know, you are moving from your country that you have your type of food to another country entirely that you don't have this same food. Is different completely. Let me make you laugh. There's a story. I just see them making ugali. You know, I thought, oh, that's how it is. So one day I just went to buy flour. Because I thought all the old flour at the same time. I didn't know I went to buy chapati flour. So I started stirring and I wondered, this one is not folding. What's going on? So I had to pour a lot of flour in that to make it look a little bit harder. Then we started eating it with the veg. Because at first we were not eating ugali because we were not used to it. We were eating rice. We're eating rice, Indomie spaghetti. So you get to a certain stage, it's becoming boring. You cannot keep on staying on rice, Indomie spaghetti. It doesn't make sense. So somebody just took me to now I understand that it's called Kimbadaski. Took me to Kipanda to eat. So I ate. Oh, this ugali is not that bad. So you can just buy flour and go and make at home. Just buy veggies. Then okay. Cow leg in Nigeria is very expensive. But when we get to Kenya, we saw that it was cheaper. It's very expensive because it's part of the cow that is more nutritious in the cow. If you notice that when a cow has an injury in the leg and it cannot be cured, they had to kill the cow. So when you get here, I see cow leg is so cheap. So we went to Moja because we're staying area in Donham, not far from Moja. So we went to buy cow leg. Oh, wow, we're so happy. So we mix it and I went to buy flour, thinking I'm buying ugali. I don't know I was buying chapati. I don't know the difference. So I started staring. I got, guys, this thing is not becoming hard. What is going on here? What are we not doing right? So I pour more flour. I did it. Then we ate, but we went to toilets, man. We were just waiting. We were just queuing at the toilet. Hey, have you finished? Let me go inside. Then I went. Then the lady I went to buy something. I said, last time, I know you're a foreigner, and I don't know how you quickly know how to make chapati Evo. That you bought flour for chapati. She was the one that said, I said, which one is chapati again? Said, no, the flour you bought was for chapati because I don't know, maybe somebody's helping you to make it. I said, no, I thought it was ugali. So I went to make, no wonder we're going to toilets. We were just changing. Everybody was changing. The stomach was so upset. We had to use hino to subdue the pain of the stomach. The woman laughed and laughed. So that day I can never forget. So with time we started changing and getting adapted because if you want to be well respected in a nation, their food, their language, their culture is things you need to put in yourself. Because any place you start saying Kwanatia, those people you say it to are very happy to listen to you saying their language. So that is the only way you can win their heart and their trust. And then Nigerians are proud. We are born proud. That's what I know for sure. You can come and say, this is your nonsense food you are eating. But as the Lord liveth in us, we know that it is far beyond that. Everyone in life is a stranger. Every one of us is a foreigner. You might think you're a foreigner, but every one of us will sleep on that 6 feet. So everyone is a foreigner. So you need to blend with them, understand their culture, understand their language, and understand their food. And when you do that, you'll be at peace with them. And I've been at peace up to now.
You've actually reminded me of a certain competition that was going on, I think last week. For about which country made the best, is it jollof rice and something. And there is this famous singer, I won't mention his name. He was the one who was judging the jollof. Am I mentioning it correct? Jollof rice. And he said that the Kenyan one was the most trash that he has ever eaten. The one that was Kenyan made. The one that was made here in Kenya. But anyway, umesikia hiyo story? Umesikia hiyo story? Lakini unaonaje? Ilikuwa ukweli ama alikuwa anachocha?
Do you know how to make jollof rice good?
Away from that, we now cross over to at what point did you decide to stay in Kenya? Because you've come here, you've realized that the agent aliwagonga, mlikaribishwa Nairobi, in short, India, that was your kukaribishwa Nairobi. Umerealize that agent amewagonga and he has ran away with your money. So at what point do you decide, I'm not going back home, I'm going to stay here in Kenya and do this and that? Tuambie.
So maybe those who advised us was because if I had seen somebody who advised me to go back, maybe I would have gone back then. But it seems those foreigners, Nigerians we met were like, if we can survive, you two people can survive. So maybe that's one of the things that give us the motivation to start staying. That okay, truly if they've been here, also we too can survive. But I feel like if somebody has advised me that time to go back home, I would have just gone to the embassy and cry and say I want to go back home. But also me, seeing right from Nigeria, at the age of, my father was doing very well. At the age of around 14, I left the house myself. I just left and go for my own life because I always believe that my father's wealth is never my wealth. It's his own. So if he decides tomorrow that he wants to give it to a needy people, nobody can question it. It's his own. The only thing he can give us that I usually believe in my own is that maybe education, make us to go to school, give us good education background, and give us some little things to start business with. Because my father is somebody that if you say you are leaving his house, in his house, he has his own rules and regulations. So those are the things I see. A little bit advice, I'm not condemning, that Kenyans should do. That when a son or a daughter is in your mother or your parents' house, you, no matter how old you are, you need to respect the rules and regulation of the house. And the parent needs to stand firm, because that's why we spoil our children most of the time. Because we believe they are adults. They are adults. If they are adults, they should go and be adults in their own house. But so far you are living with your parents, you are supposed to listen to every rules and regulation. So that time when I came, okay, because there's a time I went at the age of 14, I came back again. So when I get there, I was 18 when I came back again. And you tell us you need to be in this house exactly 8. If you don't come, it closes the door. So when you know you are going to be late, you call him ahead of time. Daddy, there's something I'm doing, so I'll be late a little bit. So then you will pardon, so you can come. But you didn't communicate, you didn't do anything. The rule says you must be in the house by 8, no matter how old you are. You must be in that house by 8. And you must give a genuine reason and the evidence of what you've gone to do. So he usually say this: if you feel like you don't want to obey my rules, you just tell me, okay, I'm grown enough. Daddy, please, I want to rent my house. You will come and see the place you want to rent, pay 6 months for you. Then after 6 months, continue. You say you are matured enough. So whatever you like, you can do. He usually uses me, I have raised you up in the way of the Lord that I thought it is very good. So you are the one who's supposed to pave your own way yourself. So what am I saying is that when you are staying in your parents' house and you feel like they are controlling too much, carry your bag and go. If you know you are responsible enough for yourself. But if you know you are not responsible enough, listen to them, because there's an adage that says that a old man sees why sitting. Even if a young boy climbs the highest tree, he will never see it. So most of our parents talks out of experience. So when they are telling you something, it might not look good for you presently, but I can guarantee you it will be a benefit for you in future. And that is what is helping me up to now. You see, I'm a man with one wife. Okay, maybe because I give my life to Jesus, I'm born again. So I don't know how to side chicks, because I see that is even wasting of money. If I give that money to my wife and she prays for me, my life becomes more better. So it seems it's those people we met that make us not to go back again. So I decided, okay, the nation is not that bad. Because if you see Kenya is a peaceful place to live, sincerely speaking, not because I'm in your nation. It's a peaceful place to live, because compared to Kenya and Nigeria, okay, we don't say they poke nose. Is when you get to Kenya that you see that, okay, it seems Nigeria poke nose to people's affairs too much. Because Nigeria, when you are neighbors, they go, hey, neighbor, good morning. You see, and that thing doesn't happen in Kenya. When I newly came here, though it was strange, I said something those days that if I had gone back to Nigeria, that same day, that same month I came to Kenya, imagine I won't have come back to Kenya again, because the culture was totally different completely. People don't greet each other. People are moody at each other. Life is for yourself. There are some strange things that happen, like somebody busting your neighbor's house is none of your business. Nigeria is not possible. Like people are being marked on the road during the daylight. It's not possible in Nigeria. You think that you want to mark somebody in the daylight, then that means maybe you are carrying tankers and machine gun. But if it is Kisu and all, it's not possible in Nigeria, because people always say, what is happening there? But in Kenya, everyone for himself, God for us all. Though with time now, we've started seeing that it's changing, because I've been in this nation for some time now. I've seen that it's changes, that people at least they communicate with each other, which is the best thing, because that is how your first neighbor is the person you stay with. Because your family, like me now, my family is in Nigeria. So if something happens to me, am I going to call them in Nigeria? You see now, so even if you are a Luo and you're staying in Nairobi, before you call people from Luo to come, it's that man that stays, that Kikuyu or that Luya, or that's a friend of yours that stays beside you, is your first family. Is your first person to talk to. So, but if you guys don't greet each other, how do you want to help each other? So when I newly came, if I had gone back that period, I would have never in my entire life come back to Kenya. But as I advanced, I started seeing that, it's just some set of people that feel like they've arrived. And when you feel like you've arrived, there's nothing.
So, and at what age were you when you came here, when you first came here?
When I first came to this nation, unless I do that calculation, can I calculate?
Okay, basi ilikuwa mwaka gani?
It was 2013, yes.
2013, so it's a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have heard stories from fellow Kenyans that they've gone to foreign nations and they've experienced racism because maybe one of color. Number two, because of what you've talked about, culture, because each and every country has their own cultures. Yes. So did you experience any sort of racism here in Kenya? Because we are not known for that, but we experience it a lot outside there. Did you experience any sort of racism? Were you mistreated here? Yeah, how did our Kenyan people handle you while you are new here?
All right, you know, I say culture is different. Like in Nigeria, we don't see people in black color foreigners. No, you don't. I have never. When I grew up in Nigeria, I've never had a black man being called foreigner in Nigeria, and I know it's not a Nigerian. Because one thing they do, the only people we know as foreigner in Nigeria is Muzungu. Muzungu is the only foreigner we know. And that's the only people we normally will, you are not superior than me. But if you are from Kenya, you are from Ethiopia, you are from Ghana, we don't count them as foreigner. We are all equal. We don't know. Even when you, because I play football and I have seen somebody from Ethiopia. He came to our nation and they gave him first priority. Okay, like Yoruba culture, let me say Yoruba culture. Yoruba culture prefer taking care of a visitor than you yourself, because Yoruba culture usually believe that when he gets home you'll be able to give good news about what has happened in Nigeria. So Yoruba culture usually respect visitor more than their own children. So when you are a visitor, they give you number one priority, mostly when you can even speak Yoruba language. Oh Jesus, if you go to market and you are a foreigner, because they will hear from your tonation that you're a foreigner, and you get the mufera, like example, like mufera tomatoes, you speak in Yoruba and they know you are a foreigner. Oh Lord, if you are buying tomatoes for 20 bob, imagine you go with tomatoes for 100 bob, because they will be a blessing to you. But when I got to Kenya, there are some people, okay, most people that I think that do this racism in Kenya, mostly are not educated, if I am to say, sorry to say, because they have worked with those guys that are exposed, that have traveled, that are educated. You don't hear such words from them, because you can be playing ball with them and say, I don't want to use the F word on the TV station because children might also be watching. They say, go back to your distant country. What are you doing in our country? Can you get out, you this foreigner? Sometimes I just laugh because I don't fight them. I just laugh. I say, man, if we all die 6 feet, Baba, there's nothing so wow about you calling me a foreigner. It's okay if you call me foreigner, but in Nigeria, you know why it's paining me? In Nigeria, you yourself, you travel now, you can experience yourself. I have seen, you can interview those who have been to Nigeria and they will tell you, in Nigeria, there is no racism of black colors at all, because they see you that we are the same. The only person we have problem with in Nigeria is Muzungu, that we believe that they are not that we have problem with them, we just believe that they are the foreigner. But for blacks, we don't believe they are foreigners at all. So the only thing I do here, maybe on the field while playing, is there's some of the fans or some of the players you're playing with, we just tell me, okay, there's a match, I collected a red card when I was playing, because the guy was telling me, was using the F4 and he's telling me, go back to your country. And I was offended. I said, what do you mean? I had to push him. But later on after the game, I went to apologize. I'm sorry. It's just out of the passion that make you push you, because also, there's an adage in Yoruba that says a visitor that knows his own way is the one that will gain respect. So if you know they are not accepting you there, you to do things that will make them accept you. Don't start proving that you have rights. If you have rights, keep the right in your father's land. You are in a foreign land. That's what I was saying.
Okay, guys, I really hope that you're enjoying our story here with Michael. So far, he has told us how he found himself here in Kenya. We are going to take a very short break, but when he come back, we are going to hear from Michael why he decided to settle on a Kenyan girl, and why Kenyan girls love Nigerian men, why our Kenyan girls are running there in Nigeria to get the Nigerian men, and as well tell us where he started life now, because he's amekuja Kenya, hana hustle, hana nini, hana mbele wala nyuma, how he started to now where he is. We'll be right back after a short break.
Do you know your story can inspire, encourage, and uplift someone who has lost hope in life? If you wish to share your story with Orion Production, kindly reach us at My Story through our email address theorionproduction@gmail.com, or through our WhatsApp number 0728654867, or call us on 0708286012. Visit us on all our social media platforms: on YouTube, The Orion Production; on Instagram, _Orion_Production; on TikTok, the.orion.production. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share. The Orion Production, home of inspiration.
Welcome back, guys, from that short break. While we were on that break, something happened to my eye. So in case you notice something different with my eyes, something small happened, but we have to continue. So now, Michael, we left it at now you're in Kenya, and we want to know how you hustled to where you are now. Vile ulianza, ulitandikwa na life hapa Nairobi, mpaka ukajinua, and to where you are now. And of course, we want to know why you went for a Kenyan lady, but that will come later, and why our Kenyan ladies are still going for Nigerian men, even after the many stories that we've heard of unsuccessful marriages between the two. Yes, tuanze hapo kwa kupiga kazi sasa. Where did you start?
All right. As a foreigner and you don't have work permits, you are not entitled to work. You working is an illegal thing to do. So mostly what we do is like we just do off-reader work. Like example, maybe going to help your brothers, your foreign brothers, which are foreigners, helping them to clean their houses or helping them to organize some things. So like washing their clothes. I tell you, don't need of you giving people, please, I can also wash. So those are the places we started getting small change also, because you don't want to be a burden to someone. Yeah. And also, if you are a foreigner and you are just indoor 247, if it is me too, I'll be wondering, I'm an imuizi, I'm an afayakazigani, ijama, akodani from morning to evening, what is it doing? So we had to go out and look. Then also we're still playing football, like we play some leagues that foreigners are permitted to play. So we play, they can give us 300, 400 after the game. So that's how we survive.
Now to how you met the love of your life. Tupeleke pole pole tu. You've heard people saying na mutaratara. Umesikia watu wakisema uko nje? Tupeleke narada. Narada unajua? Tupeleke narada vile you met the love of your life. Vile mlianzia, you've grown together and you have 4 beautiful kids together.
All right, that's a beautiful story I'd love to share. If you say Kenyan women are not good, it's for yourself, not for me. For me, I am blessed to have a Kenyan woman. Sorry to say I'm from Nigeria, but I don't think this one I get. You know, the way God operates is different from the way human being operates. So she's even better than, because I have 2 relationships in Nigeria before I come to Kenya. Though it ended because when I got here, 3 months after I got here and I could not send something to them, they said they had pressure from their parents and they could not wait any longer for me and departed. But this Kenyan woman called Jacqueline from, as I said earlier, she's from Luoland, Sakwa Bondo. Is this Siaya County, senior? Yeah, that should be Siaya County, something like that. She has been a blessing. This is the day I met her. She was an admin in a school. So they were practicing for it's called what? Their sports day. Then she was on the field that day. So I saw this beautiful lady standing, nice figure, nice shapes. She's blessed in the front, blessed at the back as a pastor. So you understand the rest of it as a man. So I saw this beautiful lady, dark in color, with good smile. So as I was coming back, I just said hello, said hi. Then I said, okay. Then I told the Lord that I am going to a place. I'll be back in the next 10 minutes. That's because the minute I saw her, there's something that is attached. I say, okay, I don't want to feel like maybe because I'm under pressure in Kenya, so I'm looking for a way out. Maybe this lady should be a way out. No. So I was like very careful also, because you might be looking for a way out and might be the downfall of yourself. Because you might think you are taking advantage of a lady, but there's always, one thing I tell men is this, there's always, you see, a prayer of a woman answers more than a man. So there's always a consequence you cheating a woman. There's always a big consequence. They always think there's nothing, but there's always a big consequence you cheating a woman. Believing that you are the man, you can do whatever pleases you. There's always a consequence. And every human being will dance to that consequence, either at their young age or their old age. So I'm always very careful because I understand that secret as a spiritual person. So I don't like taking advantage of a woman. I don't, because once you start having an intercourse relationship with a lady, that means you are signing up a deal that you need to break yourself. That's a covenant you're making. And when you break such covenants without the lady's consent, there's always a consequence. So many men struggle today thinking that it's just Maisha ni Ivo to Apana and Ioki to Lisha Fanya some time back. They are hunting you. It's always like that. So I'm very careful about that. So I believe I'm also passing messages to men to be very careful, because the first marriage is not that one we come to church and people eat food. The first marriage is when you first of all make an sexual intercourse with a woman. You are married to that woman. If you check biblical aspect of it, that's the first marriage. So you need to be very careful. So that means you've been married many times. So if you think it's just only that marriage, so you are divorcing the beginning from the beginning. So when I went, I said I'm only going for 10 minutes and I'll be back. But I used like up to like 45 to 50 minutes. Then she was still there. So I was like, wait, that's the first sign. I said, oh wow. So later on in future, she was telling me that I don't know why I even waited that day, because normally when we come to, I've been doing that program for like more than 5 to 6 years. Normally, if I come to such a place, I'm always the first person to leave. But this particular day, I said, Apada, I just feel like going at the last one. All right. So when I got there, so I did under something crazy. I gave her my number. I did not collect her number. I gave her my number. And I did not collect her number, saying that if she called me, truly, if this is my wife, you said, if she called me, then I'll know she's my wife. Then I went. So she later on in the future, she was telling that later I gave her, she was like, this guy is foolish. How can you not collect my own number? You gave me your number because you are who? So I left. I helped her. We discussed, we chat. Then she left. She went to school. Then me, I went home. Then the evening as I was passing, so I said, Lord, this is the third sign. If this sign come to pass, then I know truly this is my wife. So when I was strolling out in the evening, I said, Lord, if truly I give her my number, if she's my wife, let her call me. Either by default or by mistake or subconsciously or consciously, let her just call me. At that particular time was when she was trying to save my number. And funny enough, she was saving my number as Lunch Nigeria. Which means that, okay, anytime I feel like having lunch and I don't have, let me call this guy, maybe he can take me out for lunch. You understand what I'm saying? So when she was about to press, okay, thinking he's saving, she doesn't know she was calling. So when she called, so she was just yelling, hello, hello. So, hey. So she said, hello. So, oh, sorry. So I said, no, don't worry, it is God. Because I have prayed that kind of manner that you should call me now. And that is now you call me. So that's the 3 signs God gave me, and I knew that was my wife. And since that day we started the journey, it has been beautiful. Though it's not easy. The reason why Nigerian men and Nigerian women are not working is because we are from 2 different cultures entirely. By the grace of the Lord, I pray it out and I work it out. That's okay, you just need to be the bigger person. Because the way Kenyan women are raised is different from the way Nigerian men are raised. Kenya, if you tell Nigerian women, son, shut up, she keeps quiet. But if you tell Kenyan women, shut up, she's going to answer you back. So those are, you see the difference. So those are the difference that are there. Kenyan women don't, the way our culture is that when your husband is talking, you don't talk back. But for Kenya, when you talk, if you say hey, she would say hey to Z already. So if you cannot blend to that, so you need to now blend. So what happened is that we now blend and we meet up katikati, so we could leave. Because our first 2 years in marriage, we almost broke. Because she was telling me, just go your way. I said, me too, I'm going. Because you people are difficult to live with. But Lord was telling me that, do you ordain this marriage or I ordain for you? If you move away, I'm going to punish you. So when Lord told me that, I had to say, okay. So she said, oh, Lord, thank you. So in future, she was asking, oh, thank you so much that you didn't go that period. Because I would have regretted it also. So me too, I stayed and I said, no matter what, it's okay. So for years, what I was doing by the grace of God was this. What made her change and we blend together was that I make sure I never find fault in her. Even if she's wrong, I'm saying I'm sorry. Even if I'm right, I'm saying I'm sorry. So it got to a certain stage, she looked at herself because a reasonable human being who is respectful, who is brought up well also. When she started noticing that, she asked me, wait, am I the only angel in this marriage? You are the monster. Because every time you are the one that apologizes, every time you don't find fault. So she now said, no, that means I'm the monster here. So he said, from today henceforth, you see the same way you don't find fault in me. Me too, I'll not find fault in you. So we started blending and blending. So when we have this agreement, under 15 seconds, 20 seconds, it's over. We laugh about it, and the person who's at fault knows that you're at fault. I say, you know you're at fault. Oh, I'm sorry. So that's how we blend. And she has been a blessing to me, like I was telling one of my friends. This lady, as a foreigner, I don't have work I'm doing except the little ones I'm doing. She will go collect salary of 50K and send to my phone and tell me that you are the husband of the house. this is the money I've made. I've given you as the head of the house. Can you tell us what we should do about it? And I'm like, what? Do women like this still exist? But I am a living witness. I can guarantee and tell you that there are women like that. And I'm sure this my my sister here also will be one of the blessed one like that.
Wase mnasikia, there are still ladies. There are ladies who can give their total salaries to their men. Na hawafeel anything. So sijui kama bado tuko wenye wako kama hivyo, sijui, I do not know. Ama tuseme when you are the lucky guy hizo masiku, because for a lady kukupatia, hata wacha sasa salary yake, kukupatia 500 bob hivyo, unajua as ladies we say pesa yangu ni yangu. Yes, and then pesa yako ni yetu.
Okay. She still say that because when she give me the salary and I tell her, okay, this 10,000 is yours, then the rest we plan for the family. Then it's over. Maybe that one I plan it's over. Then no, that's my money. And that 10,000 I cannot collect from her truly, unless she desire. Then she say that statement you said, pesa yangu ni yangu, pesa it's our own, yako ni yetu. So that's when she used that statement. But from her first salary, I was shocked. I just see this is just a blessing. This is just a wonderful woman. That is why I can love her till. Some people might not know why I love this woman so much, because a woman, look at woman and money, and can give you like that. I respect her so much, and she will hand it over. She will not even, maybe she's just an angel. Let me just say that, because she will not put high. She will not put high in that. It's her money. It's not my money. But she will not put high one bit like this or questioning you that. Will spend maybe, for example, maybe I went out with that part of the money to go somewhere and I enter Matatu or nini like that, or I spend for myself. She will not even ask me or argue about it. But the only one that I have problem is when I give her that 10,000 and I borrow 1,000. I must return that 1,000 back. But not by force also, because she still laugh it out. She's someone that does not really fancy things of the world like that. Sana evil, because I only know maybe one or two of our friends, because she's not a go out type of a lady. If we say, I don't have a friend, which friend? If must I always be looking for them, they cannot look for me. So if she's the one looking for you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, she cuts that friendship, because that is one way. It should not be one way.
That is a wise woman, because mtu mwenye anaweza kuona that I'm giving and I'm not receiving, that must be a very wise woman, and congratulations on having her. At what year, in which year did you get married?
That was we did a traditional marriage in 2014.
So you stayed in Kenya for only a year and ukapatana na the love of your life.
Hey, that is the miracle of God. That's beautiful one to hear. Because also I don't like going into relationship. If I am in you, I'm in you. I don't know how to find a EV. No. Saying let us test 4 people and see. That's a thief.
Now, what was the reception from your in-laws? Because you were typically alone hapa. The rest of your family walikuwa Nigeria. So what was the reception from your in-laws side and also from your parents' side?
At first, my in-law were feeling like maybe I'm taking advantage of her goodness. If they can see, you see those kind of thing, like, this guy is not working, how is he surviving? And we know this is our sister. They know their sister, that she's a good-hearted person. She's possible. So there was a time, she's the one that fought them on my behalf. And are you the one married to him or me? So what's you people's problem? So that one raised some highbrow, but we could settle it. And they are a wonderful family, I can guarantee you. Because her sister too is married to a Sierra Leone man. So her sister is married to a foreigner. So the brother is a contracted military officer. He's in Somalia. Sometimes he comes to Kenya. So it's a beautiful family. Then what my father just said, my father is not here, but he knows me very well. He just say, is this your wife? Is this the person you want to get married to? We don't welcome that you bring her home and later say it's not working again. We don't believe that. So I told them, no, this one, the Lord has given me the signs I need, and she's a very wonderful woman. So since then, we've been enjoying together.
And they came for your wedding, your
No,
family.
no, I've not done. I only did traditional marriage. I've not done the white wedding or the court wedding. We are planning to do it because also bringing them here is very, very expensive. You can see it's very, very expensive. For them to come and go back, we need nothing less than $2,000 to $2,500. You see, it's on higher side. So that we are talking about like 400, 600,000 Kenyan shillings, one person. So you want to bring your mother, your father, maybe one of your siblings want to follow you, or they tell you pay half of it. So if you're spending nothing less than 3 million Kenyan shillings.
Oh, okay. So now, as we are concluding, you've touched on some of the reasons why the intermarriages between Kenyans and Nigerians may not be working as much. We can maybe attribute it to the differences in cultures. So, and what is making it work so far for those that in a work, for example, kama wewe?
For me, I would say patience. If you are with your sister, your own blood sister, you fight. How much more this lady from another family, entirely different culture, different everything. So for a man, you need to be patient. For a lady too, she needs to be patient also. You should know that you are from two different backgrounds. Because for example, maybe me, I'm in a background whereby ladies, when they come, they are the ones serving their husband. But now you are in Kenya, she's sending her house girl to serve you. So it's not working. So you might just be keeping the annoyance in you. So what you rather say is that, in Nigeria, like, house girl don't serve us. You see, you express so that she can know that, okay, if she really loves you, love can bend to anything. There's a difference between I love you and I'm in love with you, because, I can love you with mouth. But when I'm in love with you, it's something that comes from the heart. So when you are in love with someone, you can blend to that person. If not full, at least you bend 45 degrees. So the other 45 degrees for him also to bend so that you can meet each other at the same place. So what I would say is that be patient and understand that she's from different places. And love does not really mean you should get what you love in return. When you walk like that, you sow a love, because God, what do we do to deserve God's love? Nothing. We even crucify him on the cross of Calvary. But yes, by that, it's still saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. You see what the love is? He was not expecting something at that particular time. But with a matter of time, as he expressed the love will reflect back to him. So the same way, if I am loving my wife and she's not doing what I want, but with time, she will reflect it back to me. So because you become a mirror. So when you give out hatred, there's nothing you do. And our mothers, our women, they multiply what you give them. You give them a house, they make it a home. You give them, it's called what? There's an English they usually use, they make you a baby. So you see now, you give them food stuff, they make it food. So that's what our mothers do. So when you start showing her hatred, or you start showing her that you don't really fancy her, that's what she's going to reflect back to you. So really, really everything depends on the man. It is the man that will make the wife bend to what he wants her to be by doing the right thing. Even though sometimes you are doing it, you are not feeling the vibe of doing it. But notwithstanding, try and continue doing it. When you do it like that, with time, because you are the mirror, when she's looking at the mirror, she's going to see the reflection of herself. So it bounces back.
Wonderful. I hope wamesikia wale wenye they still have the hopes za kutaka kuolewa na wa Nigeria, or the Nigerians that still want our Kenyan ladies, because I'm sure you've heard of the Nigerian boys wa Roysambu. I'm sure umesikia kuwahusu na sifa na sifa zao zenye hatutashinda tukitaja hapa. But yeah, Michael has explained, he has told us that it's possible once nyinyi wawili mkiwa mmeamua, when you've decided that is the thing that you want, si mchezo. And I know that you're also into ministry and football as well. You could touch on that a little bit as we are winding up.
All right. Let me start with football and I end with the ministry. For Nigerian boys, I feel like sometimes I don't blame Nigerians, I blame the Kenyan women. Example is this. A person you met in a dancing place, what kind of person do you expect? There's an adage in Nigeria, I'll speak it in Yoruba and I'll translate it. It means that a lady you marry while she's dancing, she will dance away. So don't expect something wonderful when you met each other in club and you think you've met an husband. You are joking. You are joking. There's some respectable, though there are some you meet in a club that works, but it's rare. Because the same way he see you in the club as a woman, the same way he see another one in the club also. So if you think he's going to see you like an angel, if she see you as an angel in the club, that means she's seen another angel in the club. So that's where the number one problem starts from. So when you are dating a guy you met in the club, please have it at your back of your mind that it is dancing that brings you people together. So dancing you can also dance away. Like we say, dance away your sorrow. So be very careful what kind of place you meet the man you said you want to spend the rest of your life with. Be very careful, because if you meet in such a place, you might not get what you really want. Then secondly, then some people, when you marry a boy, what do you expect the boy to do? So you marry a man. It's better you have a relationship with a man who is responsible. When I say man, doesn't mean age. I mean somebody who is responsible. You will become a man when you become responsible of yourself. But when you don't care about what is going on, that's a boy. So if you marry a boy, what do you expect? He can't stay. So Kenyan women also have a relationship with men, not boys. If you have a relationship with boys, you keep on crying and say Nigerians are bad. Be very careful. Every boy can be bad, even both Nigeria or Kenya man. If he's still a boy, he will still dance away. That's what I can guarantee you. But when you marry a man is a man with responsibility. Then for football, I play football in this country. I've played for ZTech University. I've played for Equity Bank. I've played for Piccadilly. So I've enjoyed football in Kenya, but sincerely speaking, it's not a football nation. It's more or less of an athletics than football. Yeah. So, but we're starting to see changes already that they are now going to football, because I've seen that they are trying to make some fields to make it more meaningful. Because football does is that it make youth busy. Instead of them engaging in all those negative activities, when you can pump, it's just an advice I'm saying to the government, when they can just pump money into football. So I noticed that they've started building the stadium, they started doing some things in Kenya. So when they pump money into football, it will help the youth to stay away from negativity activities that they are doing, and they'll be able to come to football. I know these boys are young boys, so if you give them something small, they'll stay focused than that. Then for ministry, it has been beautiful in this nation to minister, because we've been talking about the word of the Lord. We've been saying the truth about the word of the Lord, because we are very careful. I'm this man of God that doesn't preach about prosperity, that when you give your life to Jesus, you buy car. You see all those kind of sweet prayer. No, those are just sweet talk. Those are just motivational speakers. The way of the Lord is not the same way you say it like that. The way of the Lord is seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all those things shall be added unto you. So you should not put material things ahead. You are not serving God because you want him to bless you. You are serving God because he is God. So when you come from that aspect, then you understand the real meaning of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. That you are not serving God for him to bless you. You are serving God because he is God. Then when you serve him that way, you will get the benefit of serving God, and that's material things that your car, your this will follow up, because they will be essential to move. You know what those things do? They only do it to help you enhance the work of the Lord. That's what I'll say. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Amen. May God bless you too. I've really enjoyed myself throughout this interview, and I hope that even people uko nyumbani wenye wanatuwatch, our dear viewers, that you've learned and taken a lesson or two from our guest today, Michael. Kindly tell us how people can reach you, maybe via your socials.
Yes, I'm on Facebook. It is Adetunji Oluwagbenga Michael on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. But though I'm not a fan of all those things, I don't know the name. Maybe if you come to my Facebook, I can give you my TikTok and Instagram name, because I don't have them on my head. But I usually preach there. Most of the time you see me there is just for preaching of the gospel, or writing words of the gospel, just to motivate one or two people so that we can know the truth. Because the Bible says when you know the truth will make you free. So when you know the truth, it said, my people, not sinners. Let me just throw something before we finish. If you don't give your life to Jesus now, you're already condemned. So judgment is not for those who do not give their life to Jesus. Judgment is for those who are in Christ but do not stay in Christ. So when you give your life to Jesus, it's always something that is beautiful. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'm on WhatsApp on 0707 970123. Let me say it again. 0707 970123. If you have any question about the scripture, or you need any advice about marriage, by the grace of God, I can be in the position to help to speak about the marriage. Because let me say this one, because I like talking also. Let me say this one for the last time. When you are divorcing your wife, none of you is right. So be careful. Don't come and tell me I'm the right person. None of you is right. It's either your faults trigger a fault, or a fault trigger your fault. God bless you and thank you so much.
Amen, amen. I've really enjoyed myself. Like I said, it has been a really nice and wonderful time with Michael. I hope hata nyinyi hapa nyumbani mmejienjoy. Continue subscribing and sharing our stories if you're out there and you also want to share your story. You're a foreigner. Kwanza tumeanza kuwakaribisha watu wa diaspora. Karibuni sana. You give us your stories of how you've survived here in Kenya, your experiences here and there. Yeah, and from here, the home of inspiration, it's bye-bye for now. My name is Nyambura Mbogwa. See you in our next episode.